What is it that you say when someone gives you an order and then changes the order halfway through? Hi guys, my name is Deepak Shukla, founder at Pearl Lemon Cafe, and in this training series, we're going to be walking you through all of the steps that you need to give the most amazing customer service experience. And if you want to ultimately get access to some of our advanced training, feel free to click the link in the description below. Meanwhile, we're going to get into it to talk about what to do when you get given ultimately wrong orders. So look, fundamentally, when someone gives you a wrong order, it could be something to the effect of, you know what, could I have a latte with 2 sugars? And then, in fact, actually, let me have a cappuccino. So look, in the first instance, when someone says it in a very short time span, i.e. immediately one after the other sequentially, then there's nothing more to do than to say, yep, no problem, because there really is no problem. So that's what to do in those instances. But what you want to do is to use it as an opportunity to dive into further rapport building. So if they say, oh, you know what, flat white, so could I have a cappuccino instead? Yeah, you know what, no problem, is cappuccino. And this is where you could really begin to show your advanced communication skills by saying, if someone switches from flat white to cappuccino, or from X to Y, flat white to cappuccino, you might want to then say, is flat white your regular, but you're feeling brave today? You say that with a smile, saying, oh, it's flat white, you're regular, but you're feeling brave today, so you're going for the cappuccino. So someone says, like, can I have a flat white? You know what? Can I have a flat white, please? Yep, sure. Milk, regular milk, no sugar. Fantastic. You know what, actually, can I have a cappuccino? And you say, yeah, sure, no problem. Is is flat white your regular, but you're feeling brave today? So you begin with saying, yeah, sure, that's no problem. Okay? So that's the standard perfunctory response that 90% of baristas will use, or front of staff people. Yep, sure, that's no problem. And that's perfectly fine. Okay, that independently is good enough. But if you're in the interest of ultimately superior customer service experiences, then it's an opportunity, because it's a talking point. Okay, it's a talking point to ultimately dive into a further conversation. So that's mm, that's what you'll say as a standard. This is it's flat white, you're regular. Okay, so it's flat white, you're regular, but you're feeling brave today, so you're going for a cappuccino. So someone says, actually, can I have a cappuccino instead? You'd be like, yeah, sure. What is flat white, you're regular, but you're feeling brave today, hence the cappuccino, hence the cappuccino. So that would be a good example of a bit of a switch. Well, it's flat white, you're regular, but you're feeling brave today, hence the cappuccino. And then smile. I mean, you should be smiling throughout. And we'll talk about the power of just continuously smiling, continuously being high energy, and continuously being upbeat, and how powerful that is when it comes to ultimately communicating with the clients that you meet, just in general as a life skill, to be honest with you. But yeah, you want to use that as an opportunity to open up more conversation and see what happens and see what comes from it. So they'll say whatever they say. Just say, oh no, fancy a change. Depending upon what they say, you need to respond. So if they say just fancy the change, you'll say, well, change is good. Let me get to it. Or, nah, just feel like something different today. You'd be like, well, different is good. Let me get right to it. So there's a little bit of depending upon their response, you can repeat back, X is good. Let me get right to it. So X is good. Let me get right to it. Change is good. Adventure is good. A different got out of the wrong side of bed. So it won't work for some things, and you should be able to hear what it evidently wouldn't work with, saying, I just need something stronger today. But there you'd say strong is good. You'd be like, oh, I just felt like a change today. Change is good. Oh, yeah, I've just been getting into cappuccinos lately. So that was why I decided to switch again. You'd be like, well, cappuccinos are good. Do you see how the good expression can work for multiple use cases? And then you quickly finish up by saying, let me get right to it. Let me get to it. So using that process, you should be able to go from getting the new order because the first order was wrong, and then ultimately saying, look, that's no problem. So, oh, what, it's flat white irregular, but you're feeling brave today, hence the cappuccino. See what they say, like smile when you say it. And depending upon their response, you'd say X is good. Let me get right to it. Y is good. Let me get right to it, etc., etc. So this is what to do in the scenario that you quickly get a different order, okay? So what we'll cover in the next video is what to say when you get a wrong order after you've already made the cup of coffee. But fundamentally, let me just finish up by saying these 4 steps I think are a foolproof way of dealing with anyone who gets a wrong order, but just going above and beyond, because you open up conversation, and depending upon the response to number 3, you could take the conversation anywhere, because who knows how they respond. And point number 4 is really just in case they respond in a way as prescribed, or as a way as assumed from this course, but there's going to be all manner of replies, and then from there it's a case of using your verbal or your small talk skills to break it open into wider conversation. So these are the 4 steps to follow when you get a wrong order, and in the next video we'll discuss what to say when you get a wrong order after you've actually already made the drink.